AHTV, empowering you.
Bananga bami n'abakyala naze kubanyonyora nti bw'oba ng'olina omukono gwagga olina ulumbe olina buli kalonde yonna ng'oyagala bagutere ku Zoom, YouTube wamu ne ku Facebook njagala kugamba nti AHTV be basobola okubeera ku buteezi n'olwekyo mukwano gyaffe tusubwa yangwa mangu.
AHTV, empowering you.
We are now back to multi-party.
And now, yeah, yes, and we are now. No, multi-party was later.
Wow.
No, multi-party was later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the referendum came later. Yes, the referendum came
But
later.
it was later.
Okay, so you come back.
I come back. I bounced back into.
Did at the time Kanye was also
I
appear?
defeated Kanyamuzi.
Yes.
I defeated Nwagaba. But both of them were really helping each other. It was UPC. And Nwagaba was the son of Mundera.
Ah.
Mwamuchisamuntu's brother.
Yes.
So, and yes. So all those were, I combined them and beat them.
This time you're going for 5 years?
Yes, and I went for 5 years. That was 96 rather. 87, I was appointed in the Ministry of Education, Minister for Sports, I was the first one. And then
Same cabinet.
it was in the constitution we had changed. The minister, we throw away the assistant minister rank. We throw away deputy minister also went, and then we established a new post, which is the Minister of State. Minister of State is different from those other two we threw out.
Yes.
It is different in that you can attend the cabinet as the Minister of State. You can read the cabinet minutes as the Minister of State. When your minister goes away, we don't have to bring another person, another minister from another ministry to come and act. No, you run the ministry.
On his behalf.
And so you can see we made a lot of improvement, especially those of us who had suffered under that title called deputy minister.
Okay.
And there were not a few. I think I can say people responsible for that change were myself. It was Nasasra. It was Kazigwe, Speciosa. And I don't remember who else was the deputy minister at that time. It was a useless post, deputy minister. Because while the permanent secretary could read the cabinet paper, you could not, as a deputy minister. So it was useless. So we threw it away and we started this new position called Minister of State, which is good because you attend cabinet with your boss, with your senior minister. You can attend the cabinet together. You can read minutes, the cabinet minutes. You can. So it's a better position, and you don't have to. Nobody has to come and act in your ministry when you are there.
So you become one.
You are actually full minister. You know about that.
And now we are now 1996.
96, I started working as an MP. Then I think there was some appointments later on, and I was made a Minister of State for Sports. In 1998, I was reshuffled to there was a mini reshuffle, and I became Minister of State. No, Foreign Minister by this time. Foreign Minister for Monitoring. Minister of State. Minister for Monitoring. Economic Monitoring. 1998. 99. 2000. 2001. We go for elections. And I lost the elections because there was some kind of maneuver by some Kazini, Michamoto, and Kazini,
Yes.
You remember Kazini?
Yes, I mean.
He was supporting his brother-in-law, this Albert Mutu. So they beat people here left and right, and I lost. Then I was appointed the permanent representative, Ambassador, permanent representative to Geneva.
You're watching a Youth TV, empowering you.
Yes, thank you very much, you who is still watching. We did that pause on purpose because that's why I started referring to this gentleman as Your Excellency. When he talks about Geneva, then he's now coming to that title. But before we go to Geneva, let's come back to the ministerial service you actually offered. I understand people say political analysts and those who really used to watch you people serve will always tell us ministers of 1886 from the time the NRM took power to around 2001, which is the period we had actually reached. Some analysts really believe there is a huge difference, and they attribute honesty, success, and that kind of patriotism to you people, which is not the same picture that they actually tend to shape with, especially those that came in 2000 after 2006. But let's get back to you on that.
Okay, first of all, I don't know how I was appointed a minister, but one day, Chankwan was there.
Yes.
Long after the government had taken over, the Museveni government had taken over, I was invited to the Ministry of Cooperatives. Something very unexpected, because I was satisfied and happy where I was in the political school.
So you mean these things they reach ministers, it is true, your name comes and you didn't know anything about it?
Yeah. So I was in Chakwanzi,
yes,
happily teaching. Then one day I was told, please come to Kampala, because there is a trip to Dar es Salaam. You and Katenta are supposed to attend the conference there. So I went to Kampala, and in that evening, I was resting. I heard about 4 names mentioned. Sulaiman Chigun, Bank of Uganda. In fact, the announcer was a Teso, and Itesot. He announced Chigun, Sulaiman as bank governor. He announced the Kazigwe, announced Nasasra, and he announced myself as
was vice president.
As a minister, as a deputy minister.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I entered the ministerial position, and all along, from there on, our push was to mobilize even more, so that we can end up doing better than any government in Uganda had ever performed. So the question of money, we didn't know, we were coming from no salary to now to a little salary. And I can tell you that up to 2001, from 87,
yes,
I had never earned more than $3 million shillings. nothing. It was 3 million and below. That was little money.
That is, I mean, we all dream to be ministers.
Yes, but that was the money, the maximum money I ever got when I was in those positions of minister. So, it was after 2001, that we see people blooming into big monies. And Parliament 7, Parliament 8, Parliament 9 was nothing but increasing their remunerations. So, I don't think the mentality, I don't think the attitude, I think I don't think mainly the attitude was to work and work and work. Whereas now it is money. Mm-hmm. And I pity these fellows, because how can you work when you are focusing on money making, vis-a-vis making everybody in the country better off and
going for the 2001 elections. I think that this is when Besigye came on board.
Yeah.
You were a minister at the time. Did anything really ever come to bother you as you sitting in that cabinet and you felt this now former gentleman here we had in as our comrade? Because I understand he was a minister too.
He was a political commissar. National political commissar, which was more or less a ministerial position.
Yes.
Yeah. But the mistake he made was one. In 2001, he could have had more of us maybe there, but he never consulted. For instance, we were in Constitutional Assembly, finishing the job of making the Constitution, when we received the piece of paper in 1995 to say everything bad about this government and how he was trying to transform the country by making another party. I think the first party was
the former agenda.
The party former, but did it start in 2001 or earlier? Because I remember we got a piece of paper in the Constituent Assembly announcing the reform. Maybe all that time he was canvassing around.
Though appearing when the ballot was...
in 2001. Yes. Because that was in 96, 95 rather, at the end of the constitutional making exercise, we saw something, reform agenda, written in a book, sort of pamphlet. But
is that like a counter kind of constitution, or it had?
It was an announcement and also a critique of this government, and that critique was circulated. We read it and we dismissed it, some of us, until 2001 when the man put his name on the register of those who are intending to be presidents of this country.
So at the time, ministers were not involved in counter kind of, today, I mean, being a minister, you actually must be pro-government anyway. I understand, there are special missions. We've seen ministers openly on TV, go for different candidates. I want to believe perhaps this was the biggest challenger. Seven was about to meet in on the ballots. You people are not involved in anything?
No, we were not involved, except, of course, when it came to campaigning.
Yes.
For our positions, for our position as MPs, and for instance, in my position as an MP Kazara, I was campaigning for NRM.
Yes.
And I was campaigning reform agenda. Yes. And some of our colleagues, there was Nanas and Kategayas and what have you, I'm sure they were campaigning for reform agenda. Yeah. But I don't remember any time when Museveni told us to go and campaign message.
Okay.
No.
Well, so you come elections, Kazini here, it becomes a problem.
Yeah, it became my big problem, Kazini Mwichamuntu.
Yes.
And somebody called Nyakirima from Kasese.
Oh.
Nyakitana Nyakirima. Nyakirima was, in fact, the forces which disorganized us here were coming from Kasese, but I'm a commander. Yeah, but I'm a commander was Kazini. So,
okay. So he knew how to handle that.
Yeah, so I happily got out of this job because in fact I wrote a letter. To the president and said, look, if members of NRM can behave the way these people have behaved, I said, we don't have a future. And I said, bye-bye, I'm not going to stand anymore in elective politics. Because if my brothers and sisters in the party can do this, then I may as well go home and do some other things. And I did. I came, and those ponds you saw.
Yes.
We worked on them and we put in fish, although it never materialized so much. We put it. The school started as some buildings were there, but we uprooted them. They were fish, no, piggeries.
Wow. Let's first roll back to the role of ambassador now. Elections are there.
Elections are finished, 2001, and then I got information that I had been appointed ambassador to Switzerland, but also a permanent representative, the UN bodies in Switzerland. And there are many human rights, UNCTAD, Red Cross, everything. They're about them. So I went there and served for about 3 years. Then I was transferred to South Africa. South Africa at that time, Besigye was there. So essentially I was sent to South Africa to fight Besigye.
The man was hiding, I guess.
Yeah, to undermine him there. And I did undermine him. So until I got sick, I got sick in 2012. And after that, after semi-recovery, I came back in 2013, and I haven't still gone anywhere else. Yes.
Let's first go into the life of an ambassador. What happens in there?
In Switzerland, it is work. You can't. I don't think anybody works like one who is in Switzerland. Because in some of those organizations, you work until, especially WTO, you work like a horse. Sometimes it's throughout the night, sometimes towards midnight, sometimes. Yes.
What do ambassadors do?
You prepare, like in Geneva, there were a lot of preparations to UNCTAD, is trade negotiations. Trade. And there's nothing as difficult as trade negotiations. Forget about the rest, but trade negotiations is...
You're only a smart salesman in a big office.
Yes. So, that one, it was work. Then there is human rights. It's also another busybody. Then there was ANCTA, which was another busy body in Geneva. Then the rest are like, okay, Red Cross is fine, World Health is fine, then once in a while. But don't forget also that you are an ambassador to Switzerland, which is somewhere not in Geneva, but in what is this place? I forget. Bern is where, as the ambassador, you are representing the country in Bern, but as a multinational body representative, rather, I mean, UN bodies, you are sitting in Geneva. So I was sitting in Geneva, but once in a while I would go to Bern. Ambassadors, what do they do? What do you do? You are actually representing the country in that country, in that other country. And you are whatever happens here,
yes,
you have to inform the other government. By the way, in South Africa, I was not representing only South Africa. I was not in South Africa alone. I was in South Africa, I was in Botswana, I was in Lesotho, Namibia, and Swaziland. So those were 5 countries. So you keep coordinating, keep crisscrossing, and all that.
Okay. So 2013 you choose?
2013 I chose to come here. I said Kampala, forget. I will go to Kampala for medication, but I want to live in the village. So
even, if you received an appointment for any kind of call, you...
Not with the stroke. Stroke is a very dangerous disease. In fact, I'm lucky to be alive and talking to you. Because stroke, it is debilitating. It is debilitating because taking a walk like from here to the shops there and coming back here, it's like you have done a 20-mile, a 10-mile run. You're completely finished.
Okay, so as you rise through all these positions and serve, do you have
regrets? No regrets, but maybe disappointments. Disappointments in the sense that some people, some members, like members of parliament, of 7th, 8th, and 9th parliament,
yes,
up to 11th now, yes, people are not doing government work. I can see that they are doing their own things, and yet they demand payment for those things. Yeah.
They are not as busy as you used to.
They are not as busy. They are not as focused. They are not as focused. Really.
And below them, there is a whole chain of other people that are supposed to do the same work they're doing.
You need support. You need support staff. The way who are those people are running that office under the permanent secretary.
They're quite a number compared to your times.
Oh, the numbers, they haven't changed much. The numbers are there. Under secretary is there. Assistants, under the permanent secretary there is under secretary. Or some departments. Under the permanent secretary there are 2 or 3 or 4 departments. Doing different functions. You need those, because otherwise you can't run ministry.
If anyone told you to compare your times and these, what has changed in governance?
governance, nothing has changed, although much should have changed. Much should have changed in terms of, but the president has been focused all around. And for instance, in 1986, 87, when I went into government, I found him talking about roads. I found him talking about water for animals and for people. And sometimes we used to wonder, how does he, this fellow was quite exposed because I think he had traveled in many countries before us. For instance, he was talking about ponds. That if this road is being made from Kampala to Fort Portal, why don't you make water ponds on the way? So that I remember Nechon, late Nechon, he used to say, here is Mhima talking now. Because
he believed
because he's talking about water for animals now.
Yes.
That if you can stretch water ponds from Kampala to Kasese or to Kabaya, he says here is Mhima now talking. That was his program right from the beginning. Ponds, water for animals. And therefore, this vehicle was working on that road. Should spare time and branch in and make some ponds for water for animals. Then he was talking about supplying the whole country with water, like we have water system now here. Then some of us used to think, how is he going to push this water from Gaba to here? We didn't know that we have water. We have water here now. You see that tank there?
Yes.
We have 23,000 liters in that tank, and yet there is also government water now. It is also coming in here. But that is Museveni's program right from the and we used to wonder how is he going to do it. Then roads, that was his program. Power, energy, that was his program. I don't think anybody has contributed much in those areas. So for him, he was focused, and he's still focused, by the way. Except that I think people where they blame him when he's on his stay.
Right. Yeah, the talk is around that.
Yes. That one.
The talk is around that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, you cannot accomplish all that program if you quit. I can see his point. If you quit, then your program stops.
That can be a talk.
If you stay, if you have to stay there, then you can accomplish.
It can be a talk sometime. So, Ambassador, let's come back to our community here.
Our community.
You're one of the big names around. You're one of the people we are going to remember. I saw a post. I could even show you on my phone someone posting and saying KWERONDA has been the best MP Kagara has ever had.
You see those trees? Those forests there?
Yes.
That is my program. I started that campaign in 1989. And people said it was not possible. But now if you move from Itozo up to here, you can see the trees.
Yes.
That is my program. Then if you go in schools, I think the most person I treasure in as far as education is concerned is Karaza, the chairman. He was the chairman of the district, but he was also a minister of education in Mushenyi before we detached. He really worked with me, and I supported all the programs, educational program, and And I can't believe it. So we accomplished a lot in education. A lot.
Let's talk about this school.
This school, I was in hospital already. I had got a stroke. And KWERONDA comes and says, when I was beginning to recover, when I was allowed to speak, he said, what can we do for the people of Kazan? Mbabe, the village.
Yes.
The 3 villages. That is the village, another one is here, another one is here. I said, what can we do for them? I said, what can we do for them? Because we are squeezed. If we had land, we would have given them goats or cows or encourage them to grow coffee or forest. So we were stuck as to what to give them or to do for them. Then I said, maybe we could help them in education. And he said, but why don't we build a school in Kampala? I said, you can't build a school in Kampala and then expect these people to do what? To benefit. Yes. And I remember the days, my days of going to get to work for almost 2 months because of 13 shillings, which was the bus fare up here. So eventually I was able to school.
You're watching AYT TV, empowering you.
But of course, peasants are peasants. You can try to make them better, but they don't care. There is apathy. Our people are pathetic. Even this, we have had many programs, Bagagaware, what have you now, this is what. From 87 up to now, we have had about 4 or 5 organizations all failing. So I don't know even this one village program. I don't know.
Parish model.
Parish model. I don't know how we will manage it. Because of the apathy of the peasants, they don't care. They are happy with their poverty. they are
well, quite comfortable maybe. But let's go back to midstream.
Midstream. So I was saying that later on we identified education as the key to maybe to the community development. And we started he left me in South Africa, KWERONDA left me in South Africa in 2012 December, and he came and started construction. And first time of 2013, it was working, and I think, but the wars were there. But when he moved to Mbarara, we sat down and said, look, you are going to retire on nothing. You must do something to retire on, so that you don't focus on school all the time. Go and fight teachers and the headmaster and what have you, and then but have something to do. And I can see we are getting there. So the school has done very well as far as I'm concerned, and it is continuing to do well, because last year we got 1 to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Those were aggregates. And then some were 14, some were 15, but the worst was 16. All together, since 2013, we have passed out in those grades 1 and 2 more than 120 kids so far. And they're there, and we are following them up, and they're doing very well. They're doing extremely well, wherever they are going. Because we have concentrated on the foundation. And,
which is key.
Yeah, and so they can go to Odo and compete, they can go to Tsubi and compete, or Ndare, or whatever school it is that they can compete. But we have to do something about education. Because the education we have today is irrelevant. It's not hands-on. And it's not hands-on. And if it wasn't for hands-on something, I wouldn't be here. That carpentry I started talking about was very, very fundamental in my upbringing and my focusing. But the key to success, whether you are in P3 or P4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the key to success is hard work, determination, discipline. Those discipline, hard work, determination. You must know what you want in life, and you must work hard to attain that. But also discipline. Within that discipline, the atmosphere.
We have so many corporates this time working in across different offices, white collar kind of setup. Not all really are privileged to be earning that money. One would actually say that this is a lot. As someone who you are obviously in retirement, you live at home. Is there a lesson that you need to put out this hard-working gentleman in that office?
Or it's lower offices or upper offices, wherever you are, whether it is lower office or upper offices, the formula is the same. It is discipline. It is determination. It is hard work. But some people behave as if the world is coming to an end tomorrow. You find them chasing money, and yet I'm here 10 years sick, and I can branch 10 meters from here, and I pick dodo, I pick cabbage, I pick all types of vegetables around here.
Yes.
Including chicken when I want it, I can pick it. I can pick a goat if I want a goat, it is here. And I can eat a cow if I want a cow, it is also there down there. So, and I'm here. And I'm here, these things are also here. We are coexisting with all those foods. In fact, at one time I said, this world where I have been traveling to, if a plane had fallen from the sky and landed badly and I broke my neck, what would I have been chasing? Because everything is here. Everything is behind here, from the garden to the spine. So there is no need for overstretching your hand, touching resources which are not yours. And yet I can see it happening here.
I'm working to get these resources.
Yeah?
Ambassador, I am working to find myself with a cow at one point, a goat here and there.
Work hard. And focus.
And get this.
And focus.
Yes.
And focus.
And be displayed.
If you want a cow,
Yes.
really save for it. Save for that cow and bring it home. And you will see what will happen. You bring your 10, 15, 20 chickens and bring them here. Chicks and they will grow. If you have a wife,
Yeah, sure.
Don't allow your wife to sit down and clean the what?
Utensils.
Yeah, you go and buy a 10, 15, but go to Agaware and get some 150 chickens and build a shed for them and give them to us. Yes.
Manage that.
Yeah?
I tell her to manage
To manage that. That is your portfolio. Don't ask me for what they call it. It's a kameza.
Yes.
It's a kameza. No.
Sure.
Let her work. She didn't come to clean, Okay, once if you have a function somewhere and you have to go, okay, send her to a pedicure or to a salon. Otherwise, let her work. Yes, and give her 1 or 2 workers also. You can afford maybe to give her that helping hand while she's feeding the kids. But let her work. But what is the problem? Is you sit here and work like a donkey and what have you, and the woman expects money. Where do you get it from? You end up stealing. You end up pushing in steal so as we can live better.
Yes, as long as we get something.
Yeah, but she can work. They can work, especially in the field.
Okay. In the final group, I would request you to talk to briefly. Is my age.
Your age, very ambitious age.
My generation.
Your generation.
Quite different from where you were when you were 25 or 20 or early 20s. What's wrong with this generation?
No, I think the fault is with the parents. Because you go and buy a piece of land and you say, hey, you still go and buy a piece of land and you are saying you're buying for your children. And tomorrow the children say, where is our land? And you say, no, I don't have it. Then they bring kafoni and they hit you in the head and you die. And they share the piece of land you had a problem which you didn't deliver. But anyway, what I think is happening now is that these children are in the world of their own. I don't know whether they are misguided. I don't know. I really don't know, because I don't know what they are talking about. What I know is that when Idi Amin came in to manage Uganda affairs, the civil service was sober, and when Amin left, the children discovered that actually their fathers had been working voluntarily. First of all, the colonial government had given them a house. If you are an officer of government, a house fully furnished, kitchen. Even in the kitchen there was the cooker and the fridge. And now time has come for you to go. Either your Amin has dismissed you, or Robote has dismissed you, and you find you have nowhere to go. And the children are watching and looking. And so now the children have finished university. They are beginning to work here and there. And they are saying, me, I will never go home with nothing, like my father did. I think that is where the problem is. So these children are struggling not to live like their father, simple life. That's why they are grabbing left and right. And a child leaves Makerere yesterday. Today he wants to drive a car which I've never driven. Which I've never driven. For which I don't drive. Because my car is where is it going? The fellow wants to be like Kweranda. Kweranda has worked for many years. And he's retired. He's at home. And you came yesterday, finished Makerere yesterday, and you want to be like him today? It's not possible. You haven't even saved but yet you want to live like so, which means the job you have gone into, you are going to use money which is not yours. Yes, which is dangerous. And every child, every 25, 30 years and below, that is active. That's the mentality. Must get rich. Must get this. I must grab this. So that's the problem. If you don't make it to the university or college and what have you, ask your father to give you land so that you buy a motorcycle and start earning money immediately. Border. How many border are in this country? Have you ever fathered that find out?
Great number in millions.
Many. And who are driving those borders? Some of Guarema, those who didn't push it further. Those who didn't go further than senior 4, senior 6. They were never in border. And everybody is not looking for. Many of them are not pushing for higher education. They are pushing for border because it's immediate money. Immediate money. You get it in the morning, in the evening you have something.
And
that mentality, that attitude is dangerous because these boys don't want to work anything else.
Maybe, Ambassador, would, as we close this, you could share with us what you did actually to ensure that your retirement is as comfortable as it can ever get to be.
Okay, I had started with maybe 1972. That's when I got this land. At least I was going beyond that land of 1972. The whole of this land and something beyond that. My father came and found me in Kampala. He said, "You have 9,000 shillings." I said, 9,000 for what? He said, "This man was staying here. He's moving to Uganda." I had 8,000, not yet 9,000. But my target was to drive a Datsun 1600 and then conquer every girl in Kampala.
I missed that side of you, but that's okay.
And so my father deprived me of that land and came and paid this fellow. And from there, I brought another piece of land down there, then I brought another one there, And it is money which I have not recouped, But I had pieces of land in Kampala also, which I saved and bought. Those were pieces which can help me.
So the key was saving, investment,
saving
and through right channels.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very well understood.
Yeah.
But as we end this, usually we want to look at your social side of, I don't know, back in the days, did you really enjoy anything like social when it comes to entertainment, football?
Yes, I was.
I understand at one point you were singing.
I was mainly, my craze was in football.
Yes.
And then my teachers were ruggers at college school, Makerere. They introduced me to Kampala Club and Kampala Rugby Club in 1974. As that. So I'm a member of Kampala Club since 1974, and I'm still a member of Rugby Club up to now.
That was energetic.
Yes.
That was energetic.
Yeah.
When it comes to music?
Music listener only. I'm a very poor dancer. And while my colleagues used to go to New Life and to Susanna and New Life for Susanna and what One was in White Nile in Katwe. Me, I was hiding somewhere in Mengo, in the Namirembe compound there. Saturday I would go there and sit down and make my summary of notes. Yes. Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
I would hide into those trees and summarize my notes.
So in your lifetime,
dancing, no, zero.
Let's leave dancing. But in your lifetime, really, one has this song, and whenever it is played, you're like, oh my, okay, that was my time. Not necessarily really used to dance to it, but because perhaps it comes with memories, or you liked it, and everyone.
There are many. There are many, and not one in particular. Very many. I used to like the Congolese. I used to like, you know, but also I was introduced to classical music. Mozart, Beethoven. I found those fellows were very, very good. Mozart and Beethoven in classical music, on the classical side. Then Kiswahili was your common, you know, songs. Uganda, I've never learned how to sing up to now.
He cut this out.
They can't even play. They can't. You know, this mushrooming of Uganda singers.
Yes.
It's because they have bought a piano where the music is already. Isn't it?
Oh.
And
the other original
take them to.
Yeah,
no. Take them to.
Okay, that's understood.
Tell them to Congolese. Congolese were very good.
Okay. Yeah. We could hit a bit about family.
Family. I have a tribe.
You have a tribe.
I have 4 children. I believe they are all successful. One is running a church, I'm told, in Kamuri. My pastor is the pastor. Another one is running, is sales manager for Hima Cement. And is stationed at Ramabe. Another one is a girl who is married. She has got 4 children, and he and her husband chose to share responsibilities. She look after the children and grow them very nicely, and the man to work. And the man is you haven't been to Kampala, but they are building a hospital. They are a case clinic.
Yes.
And then they are building another one. Just near, before you branch in on the Tebe Road, before you branch in this place called, what is the estate there?
Well, I honestly can't tell. Just that we can't. That's that we know case at least.
Okay, well after Zana.
Yes.
Before you reach roofings, on the left there is a building hospital. Then so I've got grandchildren who are in secondary schools now. Yeah. So there is a guy who is the last born is 40. What now?
Do you have any notes for parenting?
I have a book. A whole book. Then this girl who 41, she's in Melbourne. I sent her to Malaysia. She reached Malaysia and did very well in the University of Sanban, so in Melbourne. Took her in for a master's, and she did it and finished it and got to work, and she doesn't want to come back. Yes, the last born.
Okay.
4. That's a big tribe.
Well understood. Wow. What else could we get from Ambassador? I think every other, I think what we didn't talk about was there is this kind of image we have for politicians and statesmen. There's this kind of life we believe they belong to. I don't know if you're going to understand me very well,
But the politician I know
yes.
is maybe myself, who always looked at Uganda as manageable, or could be manageable. That's why I went into politics early in life. I was about 35 when I went into.
When you won first year, or when you?
When I went in with Museveni in 1980, I was introduced him here in this constituency, 1980. I think the type of Museveni myself might be what appearance of that time. We thought we could change this country. We thought. And we went in. I don't know who went in with resources. Utafiri was, Utafiri is Ruhina. Comes from Ruhina.
Yes.
At one time his wife was sick and she was in where? During election time. He didn't have a vehicle, Utafiri, not even a bicycle. I had a car, a new car actually, less than 160. But Utafiri had nothing. So I would drive from here to Utafiri's place, pick some people to donate blood to his wife in Lukunji. They donate blood, I take them back and they come back. And then the following day we campaign here and Ram. Nambani and Ruhina. With nothing, but all we had was determination that we could change things in this country. And with that discipline, with the hard work, Utafiri campaigned he didn't go through, but he campaigned on foot in 1980. On foot. I had a car and it was, you can see the distances it was traveling.
Yes.
From here to the border with Rwanda. So, if we had people like those willing to work for nothing, our name would sound very big, like Jesus Christ. Like Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ didn't own a bicycle. He was on foot.
He was a great mobilizer.
But he was a great mobilizer. You can see his mobilization, his cadres are still going on and on and on. Yes, some of them have never seen him and they will never see him.
Sure.
Yes. But Jesus had discipline, Jesus had determination, and he was a hard worker. So if we had politicians of that nature, yes, when Museveni started the campaign here, he didn't have a bicycle. He didn't. 1980, he didn't own a bicycle.
And you had a car.
I had a guy. He was driving a government vehicle, I think,
Yes.
in 1980. But all he had was discipline. This man is very disciplined. He has never drunk alcohol. He has never eaten any other animal on this earth other than cow. And
All these discipline.
so if that is what is lacking, we are lacking the discipline. We don't want to work hard, yet we want to eat big, and we don't have the zeal to accomplish something.
You say Uganda you envisioned and you've not seen it yet.
That's why we haven't changed Uganda. This Uganda hasn't changed much, except maybe the army is now disciplined, and we built new roads. We have built power stations, and but where it comes changing the mindset of our people, we are still failing because it cannot be one man's job. It cannot be Museveni's job alone. His ministers should be doing something. And it shouldn't be pushed, they shouldn't be pushed, they should push themselves and see, this is what I need to do for my job. Because these people, I was talking with you about those forests. I said, if the swamps are going, when the swamps are going, where will you get found? And they came to the point, and you can see the hills are all covered with this place, including mine, which is miles away. Come on, I show you.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes, indeed. What you see on your screen is actually the forest he's talking about, and in the neighborhood is actually what you can be seeing. So many families consider that as a very, very big achievement for the gentleman that was a member of parliament of this area. Now, when we go to green enterprising, when you go to those activists of making sure that the world actually is saved, this is a lifetime achievement of Honorable Ambassador, Minister, and whatever you can actually transition or call him, whatever title you may actually want to accord to this gentleman. It's been a beautiful one. Thank you very much, Faces of Uganda, and this is how we actually do it every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Please don't go away.